and then work up the California coast, playing all the National League teams, and work their way back toward New York. But it is, if you think about it, like, if baseball played, football is 16 regular season games in American football, besides the playoffs and all of that shit. In baseball, 160 something. So it's about 10% that you play. Only 10% of the games baseball players play and football players play. So if baseball played 16 fucking games, the ratings would be phenomenal, like the best ever fucking ratings. But it's so fucking long. I always, as a baseball guy, I think that the commissioner that we have is a fucking jerk off, first class. And the sport is marketed for fucking shit. It's a great fucking game, and they don't really do the kind of marketing that I think they see the fucking NBA and the NFL doing. And I can only imagine what kind of promos you guys get over there in the UK. You guys are an English-speaking country over there for the most part. But in Asia, they're not. But yet, anytime we're fucking Asia, Japan, Korea, fucking Thailand, it's promoted fucking heavy, and you can find it, more or less anytime it's on, they're going to show it over there. And I think the advantage comes from not playing so many fucking games. You're playing one game a week, essentially.
Yeah. Because we're big baseball fans in Glasgow. You see all the young kids walking about with baseball bats everywhere. But they never take a ball with them because fuck that bullshit. I mean, we leave that bullshit for you Americans to fucking play. We just go team-handed fucking baseball bats, and it's the last skull still fucking standing wins the game, that I mean. So you go smash a few skulls with baseball bats, and that's a young team. So, and if they get past their 13th birthday, then they're on to major gangster territory, you know what I mean? That's a progression here. That's how we progress through the ranks in Glasgow's gangsters. It's baseball gangsterism, Rocky.
Wow. That's something I kind of fucking down.
Oh, I'm serious. I mean, all the young team, that's what they do. If there's no baseball bats, they've just got fucking bits of stick or bits of wood, and they run at each other. And what they do is, it's like the Bronx against Queens, or the Bronx against Manhattan. It's just crazy shit. So in Glasgow, different areas, you've got fighting each other. So you'll have, I don't know, whatever area. You could just so many different areas. And I remember back in my time as well, we went out to fight, and you were running about with baseball bats. If you get a baseball bat, it was good. But most of the time it was just improvisation, and it was just a stick. But it didn't matter if the stick was a stick. That was you. You were fucking Babe Ruth. The Babe Ruth of Glasgow.
Wow, that sounds pretty rough. Until I got into Celtic and made friends from Scotland and Ireland, I had no fucking idea that Glasgow was a rough city. Like they say it is. I mean, fucking, you think, when you come from New York, you kind of grow up thinking, everything is second fucking best, right? Even tough guys. Like, New York is the fucking center of the fucking universe. But from what I hear from a lot of my friends, Glasgow could get fucking ugly. And I'm not just talking with the un-douchebaggery that you got over there. I mean, just like, lower economic neighborhoods where you get yourself fucked up at the time of the night, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like if you get to a state where it's just serious depression all round, where nobody's got fucking anything, it's all a hopeless situation, and then you mix that up at the wrong time with some drink, and people are pissed off, and they've not got any future, so they'll just stab fuck or batter fuck out of whoever's there, just for the sake of it, and that'll pass as a night out, and what you've got as well, I mean, the police are complicit in trying to keep the figures low, so a lot of the time it's not even reported, and then what you'll get is probably friend on friend, or brother on brother, or cousin on cousin, so, and when it happens, and if you're from the schemes, you get a natural distrust of the police anyway, so as soon as the police get involved, everybody will just clam up anyway and just not say anything. So nobody gets jailed. People get smashed up to fuck, but it's their cousins and it's their friends, and everything gets sorted during the week, and it's a bastard drink, you know, and that happens not just in one scheme, that's just scheme after scheme. So it's just a craziness fucking... It's a crazy pattern, it's a crazy atmosphere in Glasgow at the weekends. It's just... I mean, everybody just gets about their business during the week, and then come a Friday and a Saturday, it's absolutely fucking bedlam, and it's get even worse in the schemes now, because less and less people go into the town, and because of the recession, so it's mostly house parties, especially on a Friday or a Saturday night, you know, and that's where you get a lot of problems with people moving about area to area, and that's one of the things. I mean, over in your way, do you get a lot of if say you're in an area, if you go in a wrong area in the Bronx or wherever in the USA, your cards are marked, you're going to get into some trouble, because that's what happens over here quite a lot, Rocky. That if you go from one area and you go into another area, and if you're a young person, you know, then you're going to get stabbed or something, you know.
Sure, yeah, some rough streets out here, not just New York too. You know, Chicago's got some rough sides, and LA as well. But I always compare, you know, like, again, being a New Yorker, kind of fucking bystander in New York, but it makes sense because the gangsters, right, the ones from New York, their streets, where they fucking roamed and where they hung out, first of all, beautiful, you know, no garbage, no bullshit, no selling drugs, and you were the safest person in the fucking world walking through there if you had good manners and you weren't there to fucking do anything stupid or fucking step on anybody's toes, especially women and children. All hours of the fucking night, safest people in the world. Other gangsters, like in fucking Los Angeles, you know, you got a different type of fucking gangster with the Crips and the fucking Bloods, which isn't a tradition taken from someplace else about honor. You know, not to knock those fucking guys, but it's as simple as, well, my fucking neighbor is blue, or my high school is fucking blue, so I'm blue too. You know, the New York gangster is based on, or at least it was, familial ties, you know what I mean? And honor and your fucking secrets or whatever. So I think the shame on the fucking gangsters in Glasgow that let that shit go down and let those streets turn to fucking shit. You know, the poorer people get, the poorer the poor people get, the harder it is for them. You know what I mean? And when a guy's got, you know, they say never underestimate a motherfucker with nothing to lose. Those are the guys with nothing to lose. You know, so I wouldn't do that, but could you fucking blame them? You know what I mean? And the elite people at the fucking top of the hill just keep fucking them over worse and worse and worse, or creating more people in that economic fucking bracket there, and it makes it more difficult for them. And then crime becomes a necessity. You know, you can't fucking, like, look at the fucking Russian gangsters in New York, right? Every time now a fucking Italian-wise guy goes to jail, basically a Russian guy moves into his fucking house. And you know why they make such good gangsters? Because in Soviet Russia, if you couldn't defraud or scheme the government, you wouldn't survive. It was more or less impossible, right? So it's in them, you know, and I think they'll have it now for another, 20, 30 years until FBI starts recruiting them and they get the fucking language or whatever. But yeah,
you see,
that's my take on that shit.
I'll tell you something, right, about Glasgow, right? The yardies and all different gangsters from outside, right, have went into all different cities, right, in the UK, right, London, they get the yardies in Bristol, and then different areas, right, so in Liverpool, and they've all been infiltrated by outside international criminal gangs, if you want, for want of a better phrase, and I use that in a loose term because, as I said, the biggest criminal gangsters are the governments, are the banksters, are the politicians with suits. When I see a politician with suit, my skin crawls because I'm looking at a fucking mass murderer who's just fucking there, you know. But the thing what I'm trying to get at was that how the whole of the UK, right, city after city, has been taken over, or organised crime, as they call it in the press, right? We'll go with that word, right? Organised crime has been infiltrated by outsiders, immigrants, if you want, from, wherever. But the people in control of Glasgow has always remained predominantly, the gangsters, the head gangsters, have always been Glasgow orientated. They've always been in control. It's like they've maintained a vice-like grip, while all the rest of the UK, like the original gangsters, like the Krays and all that in London, you probably heard of the Krays, but through time, the Turks moved in, and the Jamaicans and all various different gangs. And if you look at a map of London, all the heavy gangsters, the majority were probably, African or Asian or Turkish or, Afghans or I don't know, you name it, Somalis. But as I say, in Glasgow, for some reason, they're so fucking hardcore up here that they've no gave any of their tough away to anybody. And if it is, they give anything away, it's always in a kind of minor partnership, because the major hoods up here are all the indigenous locals. And I kid you not, I mean, there is probably hoods from other bits who've come in and they're doing their bits and bobs, but nothing to the extent where if you go to a place like London or Bristol or some other places in England, where if you went there 30, 40 years ago, it was all white hoods that were running all the gangs and doing everything. Now, if you look at it, you've got outsiders all coming in. But like I say, Glasgow, for some reason, these people can't get in a foothold. They get a foothold, but they're no major in it, if you know what I mean, Rocky.
Yeah, it's those guys. Sure, it seems to be like it's those guys, and over here we got a group of guys, and it more or less, all the time the media talks about these people, like with the international media trying to convince everybody, or at least you and I, that, Muslims are bad right out of the fucking gate, and we know it's bullshit. Think about those guys, they come over and they become gangsters because more or less there's no fucking opportunities for these guys to do anything else. Same like when the first Italians arrived here off the boat. You didn't get invited to come and fucking work. They had to make fucking unions, they had to fucking organize or whatever, break heads, do what the fuck you got to do until the society accepted you. Before that, it was the fucking Irish. So now it's another group of you. It sucks, but, again, you got to blame the fucking elitists that control fucking everything, because there should be opportunities for those guys. I'm sure if you fucking talk to whatever the name of the gang you said from fucking from Glasgow there, if you talk to the regular foot soldiers, the guys that ain't shot callers, but they do all the heavy lifting, and you say, if I can get you a fucking job and you can make, a couple of $100,000 a year, or at least have the opportunity to eventually rise up the fucking food chain. You don't carry a fucking gun, you carry a fucking iPad. Would you want to do it? I'll show you how to fucking do it. I'll help you out. And you're not gonna have to go to fucking school for a million fucking years and pay back student loans until you're fucking 60. 95% of them would say, hell fucking yeah, sign me up. You know what I mean, bro? So
yeah,
it's about the opportunities that the fucking douchebag shot callers fucking take away from these people that come over. And yeah, that's my take on that. What was the name of the gang you said? One run around Glasgow now?
The Yardies, what did I say? I can't remember, mate. I need to run it back again. The Yardies, the fucking...
Yardies, like with a Yabbies, something like that? Yabby?
Yardies. The
Wow.
Yardies. The Yardies. Yeah, they're like Jamaican Yardies, they call them Yardies. They took over like London, Bristol and all that, and places in England. But yeah, like up here, see what your stuff is saying. If you go into a lot of the poor housing, they would call them over your way the projects, yeah? So over here they call them the housing schemes. If you go to a high area of deprivation and there's fuck all jobs, there's fuck all opportunity, you go to a school where they're just desperate to label you as a failure. So in that climate, and sitting alongside you, you can just turn a mile or half a mile one way or another, and you'll see wealth and abundance. Now, you don't know that person driving down the road with that Audi or that BM or whatever, how they have managed